Hello and welcome, Pauleh here, bringing you another Elder Scrolls Online video log. And today I'm going to focus mostly on PvP, but I want to go over a few other things first. Now, first things first, you may have noticed this very nice looking armor set I have. This is actually something I bought from the marketplace, or the crown store as it were. Quickly show you in case you're interested. It's a costume, so it basically goes over my gear. I basically picked up the Stealthy Rogues pack because I've been playing a Nightblade, and to be honest, it looks amazing. The gear in this game that you can get as you're leveling looks very cool, but I really did like the look of this. But let me just show you what I'm wearing currently. Now, this is basically my standard gear, although it's kind of out of date. I need to upgrade it a little bit. Every time I've seen it though, it reminds me of the outfit that Scorpion and Sub-Zero wear from Mortal Kombat, a little bit. Now, I know the colour's not right, but you can actually dye this, and I've dyed all mine grey. But yeah, that's what I think every time I see this. But anyway, the costumes that came in the pack was the Covenant Scout. And I'll just go ahead and put on the show the helmet. So this actually comes with a hood, which looks pretty dang cool. I also had the crafty Larissa Thief's outfit, which again is quite nice looking. It's got a nice face mask. I wish the face mask was on the previous costume I just shown you, but not to worry. I've actually enjoyed wearing this when I'm just walking around towns, just trying to fit in. And last but not least, we've got the Nayu's Assassin armor. Pretty sure I didn't say that right. But this is quite a cool outfit. I think so far my favourite's been the Covenant Scouts, but I do like wearing this when we're doing some serious heavy PvPing. I look like I'm ready to eliminate someone. But yeah, there are other outfits that you can get from the Crown store, something I'll probably show you more later on. But yeah, my thoughts on this game so far, since I've been playing it for a few days now. I am really enjoying it, and I know I've had a lot of people ask me if it's worth getting, and this was while I was streaming, but I think I can safely say this game is worth getting, at least in my opinion. It's buy to play. Once you've got it for good, so you can always come back to it later on down the road. The same as with Guild Wars 2. And personally, I like that. I like it more than free to play because you're not restricted on anything. Everything is available to you in game. So, PvP. I'm currently level 20. And I've got most of my levels via PvP because I absolutely love it. Now, PvP, or player versus player, takes place in Cyrodiil, and Cyrodiil is the region that you'd have explored and played in if you ever played Elder Scrolls Oblivion. It's that area with the Imperial City in the middle. Now, you can't enter PvP until you're level 10, and when you get level 10 you can hit by default L or go to the Alliance War button, and what you'll want to do is click on non-veterans. So the way this works is that there's a bunch of different campaigns always on the go, and basically the veterans are for max level players that have started gaining veteran ranks. But since I'm not max level, I am going in Blackwater Blade, which is non-veteran for levels 10 to 49 as far as I'm aware. So you'll want to go ahead and set your home points here when you get to level 10, and then you should get an option to teleport here. When you enter into the world, you'll be able to find a quest giver somewhere in the area. I recommend going to him and doing the quest. It's very easy. But yeah, I mean, so far I haven't really found myself being too, I'm not sure what the word is here, I feel like I've been somewhat useful, but like when I'm solo, I'm not doing a very good job. Now this is mostly due to my build and not me not really knowing what I'm doing. So this is something I'm working on. I'm tweaking my build, and as I've played, I've basically leveled a lot of my abilities. I'm currently running with some of the bog standard abilities for a Nightblade, a stamina based Nightblade. And it's worth pointing out that at level 15 you also get a second hotbar, so you can have a second weapon, and for this I opted a bow. I haven't mentioned this before, so yeah, at level 15 you do get a second bar. So I have my ranged and I have my melee, although I feel like I'm not doing enough damage now. Again, this is mostly just me not knowing what I'm doing. My biggest success has come from running around with groups, but I'll go more into that later. Now, I'm just going to quickly show you some of these siege weapons. Now, the coolest thing about this game is that you can set up siege weapons pretty well anywhere. For instance, I've got a siege weapon here, and I want to set it up right in front of me. I'll get this yellow circle. If I click, it means I can build it. But it has to be on flat terrain, and it can't be too close to another siege engine. But when you do find a place, you can just set it up and bam, there's your siege engine. And you can also take it back down. Now I like this a lot because if you've ever played Guild Wars 2 and you set up siege, you can't take it down. Once it's up, and you may end up wasting it. But in PvP in ESO, you were constantly like placing down siege, using it, relocating if necessary. It's quite a lot of fun. I mean, I was surprised. You may think that's kind of annoying, but it really isn't. It adds a whole nother layer to the game for PvPing. Maybe you've only got a few of you and you've got a big enemy Zerg coming to your location. You might be able to bottleneck them if a few of you set up siege weapons to push them back. But I'm going to quickly show you these siege weapons. First up we have the trebuchets. There's a couple of different ones, an ice one which I haven't actually used yet. There's a stone one which is great for hitting keep walls, and there is a fire pot. Now when you're on it you can zoom in and you can zoom all the way out here, so you get a nice big field of view, and it can aim fairly far back. There we go, and that will do a lot of damage and add on a damage over time tick that needs to be purged if it hits an enemy. Now it takes a little bit of time to reset, as you can see here. When it's done, you can fire it again. Now when firing one of these for the enemy, or when the enemy fires at you, there'll be a red circle, and as it gets close to you you'll see it coming closer and closer before it hits the ground, so that gives you a little bit of time to jump out the way. Now this is the other kind. There's ballistas, a few different types. The Ebonheart ballista I've never actually used, nor the Packed Lightning ballista. I've only ever used the Firebolt ballista. This is probably one of the main siege weapons you'll see in big fights because it's fairly cheap, it does decent damage, and it just broke on me. It's not meant to do that. That broke. Okay, I'll explain that now. So if you look at the bottom there, you'll see two bars. The big red one at the top is my health. If I get damaged, that will go down. The small thin one is the health of the siege weapon. Now this will go down over time as you've got it out, even if you're not firing, and it will also take damage from enemies. Now the point of this is to give you some reason to spend alliance points, and I'll go into that a little later on, but let's just go ahead and fire that. As you can see, it reloads fairly quick. I just fired that on the ground and you can see the red circle, but if I just do it over there, it's a bit too far away to see the red circle, but that had a bit of an AoE attack. When it hit a good wide area. Now the last siege weapon is, okay, one of the last siege weapons is the catapults. These are very cool, and they're the same as the ballistas, kind of, they just have different uses. And and you can actually combine a couple of these, like throw down oil catapult and hit someone with the fire bolt ballista to do some extra damage.
If you remember that gates are a key.
Okay, so there are rams as well, and you can use a ram at a doorway to break down the door quick, but it's always tough doing that because of the flaming oil pots that get poured on your head. So trying to ram a door isn't really ideal, but it can occasionally happen, and if you've got the right group set up with people keeping you alive, then it's very, very effective. This is the flaming oil pot. This is great. It takes me back to playing Warhammer Online when tipping burning oil on people, and they do so much damage. It was always a great way to farm points. Again, this reloads very, very quickly, and this is actually great because you can set these. In fact, I can show you. The footprint for setting these down is very small. As you can see, it's this tiny little circle. So if I'm at the top of a stairway in a tower, I can just set it up at the top and pour it down. Again, I could also set it up above doors that have been breached, things like that. It works quite well. Anyway, let's actually jump into some PvP, and hopefully it will go okay. Before I do that, I want to quickly show you one more thing. I finally got my hands on a horse. Now, I never picked up the Imperial Edition, so I had to buy a horse when I got in the game. The horse cost about 10,000 gold, which really wasn't too bad to earn, especially after I came here and started PvPing a lot. But one thing I want to show you that I didn't realise at first is this: your riding skill, your movement speed, stamina and carrying capacity. These can be increased. Now they're tied to your character, so you can use any horse, and all the horses have the same stats. In fact, it's not just horses, any type of mount, they all have the same stats. Basically they go off these numbers. So now this is individual to each of your characters. I don't believe it's account wide, it's for each individual character. So if you have multiple ones, you'll want to do this daily, but what you'll want to do is come to a stable master, talk to him,
my family,
and then you'll have the option of spending 250 gold to increase either speed, stamina or carry capacity. Now I can increase my riding speed by 1% all the way up to 60%. That's going to take 60 days in total thereabouts. It takes about 20 hours for it to reset, so this is something you have to keep coming back to. Alternatively, you can go to the Crown store and go ahead and, where is it? There is a, here we go, you can basically get all these from the Crown store if you don't wish to wait, but I don't really see it as much of an issue. Now the other important thing to note when you're PvPing is to make use of these stones or shrines. They're called I'm gonna get this wrong. Transistus Shrine or travel shrines. Basically you use these to travel around the map. Now you can only do it when your line is green and connected, so I can't travel to here because the enemy have too many of our resources captured. I'll go into that in a moment, but for now I'm just going to travel to this keep, Arius Keep, and this will basically take me there instantly. Now around every keep there is normally a mine, a farm and a lumberyard, and basically these provide bonuses to the keep, castle or outpost, so you'll want to consider capturing those at some point. Now I'm going to try and get into a group with other players so I can see where others are and coordinate with them. Hopefully this works. So this is something else I also need to cover, and I apologise for having to go back and forth between everything, but there is a lot of things to cover in this game. Another one would be add-ons, and I've got a few, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But first, there is an add-on which, if someone types in a certain string of letters in chat, the add-on will see that and then it will invite them. So a lot of people run these auto-invite scripts or add-ons which basically invite you to the group or raid, and I'm going to see if one of them is currently up. A popular one on the North American server, which is EMP. As you can see, someone else is typing it. It may be delayed, it may not be up and running, so it's kind of hit and miss. Before I find out where everyone is though, a couple of add-ons I've picked up. I have picked up a combat one, so you'll see numbers going up and down the sides of my screen. This was called, what was it called? Foundry Tactical Combat, I believe. And it is an incredible mod, must have. And you may have noticed this if you look on my map. You can see all of these little lore books and Sky Shard icons. Again, this is another add-on, helps me keep track of things I need to collect. There we go, my invite went through, it just took a little while, and I'm in this big raid, and everyone is currently over there recapturing various points. Now if we give it a moment, I should be able to travel straight there. But the add-ons for the game are quite useful. For instance, in the bottom right corner I've got a kill counter, keeps track of all my kills, my deaths, my killing blows, that type of thing. I also got a very simple add-on which basically allows me to type /helm to show and hide my helmet without having to go into the settings and apply that, which is quite nice. Now it looks like they're going to make a move on this outpost called Sejanus Outpost, and as you can see I can now teleport straight here, which is quite nice. Whether or not this is going to be defended I do not know, but we're going to find out. Okay, I may have to travel elsewhere. It seems we're going to go to Chal. Okay, so we're going to go to Chalman Keep. I was better off staying at Arius. We're going to travel there. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I'm currently travelling to Chalman Keep to help siege it. If you do join a raid group, please pay attention to the crown, i.e. the leader, because they're the ones that are going to run everything and basically try and get the group led to victory. Now as you can see here, there's a couple of gangers up ahead. The blue icons mean they're from the Daggerfall Covenant, and if it's a yellow icon it will be from the Elmerian Dominion. I also want to point out, if you go stealth in PvP, you are invisible to the enemy. So he can't see me unless he comes up close. And now you can see there he just went invisible. But we're going to get these guys, hopefully. No, stop him! Get to BRK. Seems we've just changed our location. Right, there we go, she's dead. Now as you can see, this guy in front of me, he's got the crown above his head. He is the leader of the group. You'll want to stay on him, pay attention to his orders, mostly in chat. He should yell it normally, so it'll be in red, otherwise it'll be in orange for group chats. But if he says stack, that means just get on top of him and be ready to follow him if he rushes into a keep. I'm saying this now so I don't have to explain it later. Now, when you're in, Cyrodiil, you'll start earning XP towards alliance skills, alliance war skills. One that's incredibly useful, and I want to bring this up now in this video, because this video is intended to help sort of newer players out rather than veterans. But this skill here, rapid maneuvers, I really do recommend picking this up. It can be used on a mount or when you're on the ground. Now, when you first get in, you probably won't have a mount, and it's going to be hard to keep up with everyone. If you use rapid maneuvers, it will use a little bit of your stamina, but it will basically give you a speed increase, and you can also sprint while you've got it. So this will basically allow you to keep up with everyone, and I really do recommend you pick it up. There's probably better skills to have eventually, but for now that's not a bad thing to run with. Now, this was the lumber yard. It looked like there was enemies there taking it, or we just took it back, I'm not sure. Alright, here we go. I got new skills, so I'm trying to use them. Well, I really don't know what I'm doing. No, no, no! Get him! There we go, he's dead. See, they've got siege up, and if you go to a siege engine, an enemy siege engine, you can walk up to it and set it on fire to destroy it. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna have to... losing health. I need to try and get away from the battle. One of the best abilities is dark... oh, let me get inside. One of the best abilities I've found so far is Dark Cloak. Basically makes you go invisible for like 2.5 seconds, and you can basically chain it as long as you've got Magicka. But yeah, it is extremely useful for getting away. I've actually survived a surprising amount of ganks because of it. But yeah, that's another... if you're a Nightblade, definitely picking it up. So, we've got the enemy out there, they're setting up siege. I'm actually going to go up top here. Oh, there might not be room. There might not be room because they've got these here, so what I'll do is I'll set this up here. Now this is a special siege weapon. It's a cold fire trebuchet. Now it's special because you can only get the cold fire weapons, as far as I'm aware, from doing the dark anchors that happen in Cyrodiil. But yeah, it's kind of... it takes a little while to travel and the enemy can dodge it. If they're not paying attention though, you can kill them very easily because... but yeah, you can use these siege weapons to damage walls and push out the enemy if need be. Yeah, I've killed a couple of people with this cold fire trebuchet. It's very powerful, more powerful than the default siege weapons. Aiming for that guy there. Bosh. He might be protected though. Normally though, if you're on it, you'll see the red circle coming, so you can always get off and then launch another one. Late friendlies, I really can't tell from here. No, they're enemies. They took some damage. There we go, killed him. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, that was pretty successful, that was. Let's hit that treb one more time since the enemy's still on it. Up. Now you can buy repair kits to repair these siege weapons, and I'll probably do that on this weapon since it's pretty powerful. I only pull it out in extreme measures or when I know I can stow it. A lot of times I've placed a siege weapon down only to be overrun and I've had to leave it behind. Now, while the fight's going on, I want to quickly show you one more thing. the other parts of the Alliance War. Scoring. Each faction aims to be ahead. Now this reset last night on a Sunday evening, and as you can see, the Ebonheart Pact is currently last in the lead at the moment. It was second last time, but it works very similar to Guild Wars 2. The more territory that you own, the more potential points you'll gain. And we're currently holding 2 Elder Scrolls. In fact, so is everyone else. But we have no outposts, so that's not good. You get bonuses for holding enemy keeps, and depending on the amount of enemy keeps. Same for the scrolls. Now, here's the interesting part. If you own 6 keeps for your faction, you can crown an emperor, and the emperor is whoever's the highest scoring on your faction. So currently we have no emperor, or there's no emperor at all. If we were to get 6 keeps, Lancer Vestora would become emperor. I'm currently ranked 23rd in the list. I was rank 7 yesterday, but I've dropped down. I just went to bed and haven't really done too much PvPing. But yeah, to be honest, gaining points is mostly reliant on how much time you're willing to put in. Because for my first few days, I ended up on 14, 15, which I don't think is too bad for a brand new player. But again, it's mostly just time invested. And as you're fighting, you'll earn these. See, there we go. I just dodged that and almost hit me. Oh, the enemy's actually breached. Okay, I'm busy yip yapping here, and the enemy is in our keep. I want to get inside here. Ah! Alright, I'm inside. So, while I fight, kill players, capture objectives, I'll gain alliance points, and I can use these points. I currently have 42,000. I can use these to buy more siege weapons, or soul gems, anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get another fire ballista, because I'll be using those quite a lot, and I also want to get some siege repair kits so I can start repairing my cold fire trebuchet. Now, for this particular keep, the keeps and outposts have different layouts, but when the enemy comes in, they'll need to capture both flags and hold them. So when they get in, they'll probably capture this one and then go there and capture that one. It's worth pointing out these NPCs are no joke. These NPCs can wipe groups if left unchecked. You can't just run in and try to kill everyone. You've got to take them down. You've got to... It's good. I like it, to be honest. It's a bit more... They're a bit more dangerous than Guild Wars 2. But Guild Wars 2... AI tend to get wiped pretty well instantly. So, alright, I need a good place to set up my trap. I wonder if I can get it back here. Yeah, there'll be room, unless this person's going to set one up. Alright, get as close as I can. There we go. It's a little hard to see the enemy, but you get a rough idea. So I'm gonna chuck a couple of those over, see if we can hold them off. I hit someone. It's ticking on him. He's still firing it, I can see him from here. Let's go ahead and hit on there. But yeah, as I said, I really like that the siege weapons can be deployed pretty well everywhere. You could turn a fight round that's, if you're outnumbered, you can turn it around by getting siege up. Keep in mind it also works in the enemy's favour. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can nail that dude over there. Guy's fighting 2v1. I'll drop that down. Bosh, hit one guy. He's taking a bit of damage. He's dead. Nice. Alright, let's try and... It's kind of awkward to aim this from up here without actually seeing what's what. One more. Good measure. I missed. Okay. Well, that was a quick look, a very quick and basic look at PvP in Cyrodiil in Elder Scrolls Online. I will go into more depth and show you more PvP action in future videos. Right now this was just a video to basically get you started if you're new to the game. I hope I explained stuff and didn't make it too confusing. And make sure you stay tuned for more ESO videos. I also want to do a shout out to a guild I've joined recently. They were kind enough to take me in. They organise a lot of PvP, so I've been having a lot of fun with them, and that is the guild House Sofa on the North American PC mega server. So thank you to those guys and girls. Anyway everyone, thank you for watching, hope you've enjoyed this. Until next time.